Welcome back to Sarodi and Sarodi Co. I have a lot going on these days, man. It's a lot going. I auditioned. I didn't really audition exactly. I went for an audition. It's not an audition. Why do I keep saying audition? I went for an interview at the True Music School of music. It's pretty much in the name. And I went in for the interview, and I think I aced it, man. And I got a scholarship and everything. It was fun. And now it's like very dicey because I have to manage work and the degree. So it's a bachelor's degree, which is what my friend said. My friend called Titus. He said that it's pretty stupid for me to do the bachelor's degree again because I have done BMM. Well, BMM is a sham, and I don't think anybody is going to ever, give me a job based on my degree, the BMM degree. Well, nobody is going to give me a job on a music degree as well, but BMM degree is just utter garbage. It's like total garbage. The teacher who was teaching me psychology was the same guy who was teaching me economics. He was the same guy who was teaching me every other subject. So basically, it's just one guy, and it's really a sham. No, like if you want to do a BMM degree, I'll just say don't do it because it's one of the stupidest things on planet Earth. Like no BMM student ever knows maths. Like nobody even like after 12th standard. I swear to God, I have actually forgotten all the tables of maths after 12th standard. In fact, I forgot all of them after 10th standard. The best the table that I remember the most is the 2 table. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos, 2 twos are 4. That is ridiculous if you ask me. That is the most ridiculous shit. If somebody asks me randomly, what is 3 into 9? I'd be like, can you ask me something related to music, please? I don't want to look stupid. I would, if somebody asks me that, like, what is 3 into 2? I'd just sit there correcting his grammar. Like, dude, the week earlier you said you didn't want to. I fucking forget grammar, man. But like, this is what I'm talking about. I have forgotten all the maths because of the BMM degree. There was no maths. There was no maths at all. And like the people who were like, there was once, like in one semester there was maths, and the guy who was teaching, I don't even know, he was shouting the whole time. He was like, Mohammed, what are you doing, man? Mohammed was one of my friends, and the entire time he was like, Mohammed, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? And Mohammed is just like, so like, to give you a little background about Mohammed as a character, this guy, Mohammed, he came to my house and he convinced so he came in and he was talking to my grandmother, and that's what he's like. Mohammed like is just, he can talk to anybody, like anybody in this world he can talk to. Like this one time he came to my house and he started talking to my grandmother, and randomly out of nowhere he started saying that I have been married like for like since a long time. I've been married or something. And my grandmother was like, yeah, like she bought it for the first like 5-10 minutes, and then he doubled down. He said, can you just please help me find a bride from your state, Kerala? Can you find a bride for me from my religion? Because I want to marry the second time. He actually convinced my grandmother that he wants to marry the second time, and he's already married once. And my grandmother has totally bought this shit. She's rolling with it, and she's like, at the end when he reveals everything, like he's like, yeah, I am not married, and neither do I want to get married anytime soon. My grandmother was like, okay, but I thought it was cool in your thing, man. Like, wasn't it? And my grandmother was like in a very tricky position where she did not know what to say, and my God, she was done terribly. So this is Mohammed, and the entire time in his BMM degree, he would just say random shit that popped up in his mind in the math class. That one semester that we had the math class, and he would just say random shit, and the sir the entire time would be like, "What is this, yaar, Mohammed? I told you, no, this is not like this, man. It's not like this. What are you doing?" And the entire class, he would just waste like an hour of lecture just shitting with the professor the entire time. Like he would just make him get, like, he would just make him mad, because he would totally make himself look stupid for the purpose. That's what a class CR should be like. That a class representative should be like Mohammed, in the sense that he would waste the time of the professor, like an entire hour, just making a fool of himself for the entire classroom's sake. He would not give a fuck. He would just make a fool out of himself, and he would just say random answers that. Did you know that the first semester, when the first semester we were not in the pandemic, like it was to 2019, or no, it was 2020, and yeah, 2019-2020 semester, the entire time, like we only had one semester. After that, the pandemic hit. Our second semester got cancelled entirely, and then we moved on to the online classes. So out of the 3 years, we got one semester, and the rest of the second semester we were going to the college. And by the end of this second semester, the pandemic hit so hard that they had to shut shops. So Mohammed, in the first semester, he appeared for an exam, the IT exam or something. I failed at the IT exam, and he comes to me and he's like, dude, do you know that I have written an answer which consists of a song in between. This is what a BMM degree is like. Nobody gives a shit. Not even the teachers give a shit about what you are writing. So the entire answer, he starts with, let's say it's economics, and he's like, what demand is inversely proportionate to the supply, and if the supply increases, क्योंकि तुम ही हो, अब तुम ही हो जिंदगी, and demand and supply are inversely proportionate. This was his answer. This is what he got 3 marks for, and he was one of the toppers of the classroom. Did you, like, how can you pass a degree doing this? It's insane what he pulled off in the first semester. And this is what he did for the entire time. This is like recently, I don't know if I should say this, but he's one hell of a character, man. Like he's a very good friend, but like he does weird shit, man, all the time. Like in the classroom and all, he was fun. Like we had I'm talking about him as though he's dead, but I don't know why I'm reminiscing about the first semester that we had. The first semester that we had, we also did a festival. So it was a BMM festival called Megahertz, and the only ones who showed up were the colleges that wanted us to come back to their festival. So it was like 5 colleges, because nobody wanted KJ Somaya to come back to their festival. They're like, fuck them, man. Who needs them? We have Raheja and all of that. Fuck these guys. So like five colleges turn up, and we had this guy. So it's the sponsorship department, okay, and the sponsorship department is in full it's in full force. It's like working hard every day, working in the amphitheater. So amphitheater is a place that we have in the campus, that the sponsorship department is like 7 people or something, and 2 of my friends were in the department, including mom. And the sponsorship department seemed to work day and night to get sponsors. And we were all like, wow, you guys are working so hard. And mama was like, yeah, and all of this happened. And one day what happened, the CP, so the head of the fucking event, I don't know what they are called anymore, like it's been 3 years now. So the head of the department, the entire department, turns out he hasn't got one sponsor yet. One sponsor he hasn't got. And then Mohammed, the guy, he's like, he does not give a shit about anybody at this point. Like he just speaks his mind out every time. The one thing that struck me about him is that he just speaks his goddamn mind out. And so the head of the entire festival, the entire event, she came to our class and she was like bitching about something, like complaining about some event. That's like our year. So our batch is not working on anything. We are useless and we are garbage and all of that. And Mama just stands up and he's like, like, so after the whole entire conversation, it is mandatory that the head of the event has to say, all right, I'm sorry that I went on such a rant. If you have something to say, go ahead and say. Like, of course, they don't expect anybody to say something. But Muhammad, being Muhammad, he was like, yeah, I have something to say. And he just stood up and he just fucking started ranting about the head of the sponsorship department. He just fucking went berserk. And he was like, well, if the sponsorship department had any time to get out of the canteen with the girl he's hanging out with, then we would have one sponsor at least. We did not have any sponsor till that point, by the way. And that's what he said. And the entire classroom went up and started, like, the entire classroom was like hearing him going on this rant. And everybody was like, wow, look at this motherfucker go. Like, this guy does not have, he does not give a shit. And the entire classroom, after his entire speech, and he had a speech ready. I don't know how the fuck he had a speech ready, and it was not a like a written speech or anything. He had it on top of his head. Like I can never give a speech, like a speech that I haven't prepared like 3 hours ago, like or a week ago. I cannot speak in a confrontation. I cannot just go down on somebody. I cannot do that unless I have this entire scenario written. If she says this, I will say this back. If she says this, then I will say this back. Unless I have that kind of fallback, I would not go into confrontations and just be like, just speak my mind out. This guy, he was like, fuck it, man, I'll speak. He just spoke for like 3 to 4 minutes, unrelenting, and the entire classroom erupted. Everybody was like clapping, like, this guy is our politician, man. This guy needs to be like running for BJP or something, because this guy knows how to talk. That's this guy, man. Oh fuck, I need some water. Man, this... he's amazing. Like, I have some amazing friends, man. Especially back in college, I had some amazing friends. And okay, I don't want to say this, but fuck it, I'll say it anyway. So Mohammed, he got blocked recently from one of his exes. Okay, and he took that shit very personally, because the relationship that they were in, it lasted for barely 2 months. It was like 2 months. And oh shit, I should not have revealed his name, but of course it's only my parents watching, so I don't mind. If his parents watched it, then I would get my ass fucked by Mohammed and his parents. But like so he was dating this girl, and their relationship lasted for like 2 months or something, and suddenly something happened, and they broke up and all, and like cut to fucking 3 years, 2 years later, he suddenly gets blocked, and this just gets to his head so much. He like, the entire time he was on call, he was like, dude, I haven't done anything, why am I getting blocked? Like, I don't deserve this. And I'm like, yeah man, you don't deserve this. But I was like laughing inside so much, because like a couple months earlier, or like a month earlier, I had asked this girl out, and I had talked to him before that, but then when he got blocked and I didn't get blocked, I was like, fuck man, this is hilarious. Because this guy Mohammed always had this on me, that you got rejected and I dated this girl, so fuck you. And then he got blocked, and now we are even. And I was like laughing my ass off the entire time, because this got to his head so much that like their relationship was like amazing. For the 2 months they were together, like they were like amazing together. And like they were the kind of people that you would look at and you were like, yeah, these guys should be together. And this was the kind of relationship they were in. And they, like, as far as I know Mohammed very well, and there was nothing toxic between them. And then he gets blocked suddenly, and this gets to his head so much that he's like calling every friend that he knows. Is like, what the fuck is going on, man? Somebody tell me, because this was not the kind of relationship I was in, man. Why is this happening to me? And like, this just fucking fucked up his entire world. That's all I'd say about that, because if I go too deep, anyways, I have gone too deep about it. But since I have been sharing this, see, if you are listening to this, Mohammed, you motherfucker, or Mitisha, or any, like, fuck, oh shit, I shouldn't mute that, but or anybody for that matter that I have been sending this podcast to, you are going to regret it, because I talk about you and I take names. I don't fucking care. I take names. So look at me right in the eyes when I share with you the podcast, and you just ignore my notification and you're like, fuck this guy. I'm talking about you, bitch. I am talking about you right now. And you will never know that I'm talking about you on the podcast. And if someday, some random day, this podcast gets huge and everybody listens to this podcast, and somebody's like calling you up, like, what the fuck is happening? Like if Mohammed's parents suddenly heard that like Rahul has been talking about Mohammed's past relationships on his podcast, and Mohammed gets a call on his phone, and he's like, yeah, what happened? Rahul has been talking about you on the podcast. Oh, he has. This would be on you. If you would have heard the podcast, if you listened to the podcast the entire time, this would not have come to this. You understand that? Alright. I'm glad that this is clear. It was also on, by the way, just to plug in one more thing to the two people who are listening. I was on this series called Megahertz Presents BMM Diaries. I acted in it with Titus, who's another one of my friends, and it was directed, written, and all of the shit, edited by Sumed, who is fucking talented. But like, as we have always said, he's lazy as fuck, man. This guy has all the fucking talents in the world. Like, he is great at like drawing shit. He's great at like animating shit. He's great at editing shit. He's like he's great at writing. He's great at like things that I can't even count on my finger. That's how many things that he's great at. And then every time we talk to him, he's like, dude, I can't find a job, man. I can't find it's like, dude, you are lazy as fuck, man. You don't do anything. You have everything and you don't do anything. That's the problem with people who are too talented. Like, for example, Rahul Sarodi is one. But yeah, I am one of those examples, man. Fuck you. You say that I'm not. Fuck you. But like, I think I have a lot of talents, but I don't know where to channel my energy. And that's the problem with this guy. But I have found one job. This guy hasn't found anything, and he does not want to do it. Like this one time, one of my friends, he sent him a gig that he would have been perfect in, and he sent him this, and he was like, I don't think it paid 15,000 rupees, by the way. It paid 15,000 rupees that you could just cash in like in a day. That's how easy this project was for this guy. And he was like, no man, I'm not sure about my CV and everything. Dude, he has a CV that would like fucking kill all of your CVs. Like half of the people who are in the industry right now are like pure garbage. I know these people, and like compared to that, this guy has such a rich CV and he just does not do anything about it. He does not submit. I was speaking to my friend. Okay, if Sumedh, you are listening, man, you should do something about this, because he applied for some job somewhere, and he was like, they are offering me 15,000 or something. Like, no, he said, if I get 20,000, I'll be happy with it, or something like that. He said 15,000 they are offering me, and he's like, I don't wanna. I think I'll be happy with 20,000. And he's like, are you? So like the other friend who's talking to him, like, you are not confident about the skills that you already have, and the skills that you are already so good at. You are not confident about them. Then how will you go to someone and say, dude, I need 25,000 for this project or this particular thing, like monthly or whatever? How are you going to go to someone and say that I deserve this? You don't know if you deserve this. That's the problem with you. You should know that you deserve all the good things in the world, and you should try to get better at those things. But you are too lazy to get better at those things. Like, even if you are getting better at those things, you are too lazy to get some work done and build your CV in a way that nobody can question your legitimacy, in the sense that you can get the amount that you want. That's the problem with this guy. He just does not put in the work that is required. Yeah, coming back to myself, I've been talking about a lot of other people, but I've been wanting to start meditating. I've been trying to start a thing where I imagine I write down everything that I want to get done on the day, in that day. So in the morning, if I want to get a couple of things done, I have to edit the podcast, say I have to edit the podcast, I have to get my practice done, I have to exercise and all of that shit. I just write down and base it on what the fuck was that? And I just list it down on what is the most important on the priority list, and I start just doing one thing at a time and just start ticking all of it as I do it. I won't say that I have been completely successful with this, but I think I will soon be. I have currently been very preoccupied with this music school thing, because I really want to go. I truly want to go, but I don't think that I can manage my work and also manage a degree, because I have talked to some people in my work, and they think that this is workable. I have talked to some people in the university, on the university side. They think this is possible, and now I just have to make the arrangements to get this done and just start with this, because it's high time that I start producing. I'm 21. This is the perfect age. I have enough understanding about music. If you had asked me to go 18 years, I would have just been lost there. I would have had no clue of what I'm doing there. But now is the perfect time, because I know enough things about music. I have a clear understanding of what all the notes sound like. I have a clear understanding of what all the notes, like what makes a good song. And I think now is the best time. And if I delay it by a year or even two, it would be too late, because 21 is the perfect time. Like 3 years degree, I would be done by 25, 21, 20, or 24, whatever. See, that's what I said. BMM kids are not really good at maths, but that's not important. What my point is, like, this is what has been preoccupied in my mind for a very long time. And like very long time, by very long time I mean a week. And I have this other shit that I want to focus on. So I have decided that this was one of the most difficult decisions of my life. In the sense, I decided that I have to stop doing comedy for like at least a year, at least 6 months. Otherwise, I won't be able to do anything in music. I want to catch up with the people who have started at like 4 years old. There are people in the industry, like I know such people who have started. I have a friend, okay, and he's a violinist, and he plays such beautiful violin, and the kind of expression that he has coming from the violin, it's just impossible. Like, people can't even express that in words, or they can't even express that in vocals, and this guy expresses it through violin, and that comes from years and years of practice. And he has been training since he was 4, although, like, you know, he has his own like things going on, and his father is also like a very, very esteemed musician in the industry and esteemed violinist himself. So he has that pressure going on, but he has been training for like since he was 4 years old. And there are many people in the industry, there are many classical musicians who have started training when they were 4 or 5 years old. And this is a game of catch up now, where I just have to catch up with these people, because these guys have put in the work when they did not even know what putting in the work meant. And now I have to play catch up with these people, and I have to, unless, like, if I want to do something, and that's what my guru said, like, if I want to do something in music, I have to catch up with myself, like what my potential would have been if I had started a very long time ago. And this catch up game I have to start playing, and that's why I decided that I have to stop doing comedy for a while, at least 6 months or a year, because this won't be easy. It's like this is not going to be easy, and I have to put in the hours. And I've also decided that I have to start working out, and that's another one of those things that, so basically the contradiction between the two art forms, it's very fascinating that I chose these very polar opposite art forms that contradict itself. Like, for example, classical music is something that you do in the morning. You wake up early and you start practicing, and you get your bass notes like warmed up, and you get your voice warmed up in the morning. This is something that you do as a classical musician. On the other hand, as a stand-up comic, the entire job is in the night. It's like a night shift, basically. It starts at 8 and it can end at 11, 11:30, 12. So both need different kinds of discipline, and both the disciplines contradict itself. And that's the problem that I've been facing. If I want to do this, I have to quit this. If I want to do this, I have to quit this. And this is the job. And this is the choice I need to make. This is the choice that I need to make, because both of them contradict each other, and that's a problem, and I have to address that problem. And that's why I decided that I'll have to stop doing this for a while. Anyway, I will pick it up someday. It's impossible for me to not pick it up, because now I am wired like that. I am wired to think in ways that like if I see something, I would think of getting some material out of it. That's how I'm wired now, because that's what I've been doing for like 2 years. So I cannot quit at this point, even if I wanted to, because it's now very much in me, and I'm in too deep in both of these art forms. I'm so sorry. I'm in too deep in both of these art forms for me to now like quit either of them. So that's a problem, and this is my solution. Apart from that, I attended a class yesterday with my guru, and she was teaching little kids, okay? And like very little kids they were. Some of them very little, some of them like starting very, very freshly, and like, getting to know music, very, very new to the art form. And the way she taught complex thoughts, like the way she tried to make them understand very, very complex thoughts of expression, like how you're supposed, like what is the meaning of expression in music. That is what she was trying to make these little kids, or these people who have just started to learn music, understand. And she did it so beautifully, like in the sense that she gave such amazing examples and such amazing parallels she drew, that it was just mind-blowing. And watching her, I was like, dude, I cannot teach, man. I don't have this kind of patience. Like I actually taught a kid, and he was actually one of my cousins, and I did not have the patience to teach, like in the sense that if the person did not practice, if the kid did not practice, I would just lose my mind. It would be like, why am I doing this? And it's just the same song and dance every time. If the person who you are teaching to is not practicing, then you have to go through the same things every time. And the approach that my guru took was completely different. Like she was like, oh, you do not understand this, all right, we'll go through the same song and dance again, until the point that the person who is listening to would be inspired to comprehend this art form, like comprehend these complex thoughts, and then start practicing. So it's teaching. I realized that day, like how difficult it is, especially with these kids who are like very new to this, who might show promise, but then these are very, like, classical music is a very complex art form, in the sense that you have to balance expression, you have to balance the shastra is like basically the science of it, like not science, like the mathematics of it and the understanding of it. Like these are the boundaries that you live in, and these are the boundaries that the ragas are in, and you have to stay in these boundaries, and these boundaries are very vague, and to make people understand these boundaries is very complicated. For example, sa re ga pa dha sa sa dha pa ga re sa, like this aroha and avroha, like this ascending order and this descending order, it belongs to two ragas. And she was trying to make the kid understand what what the difference between, throwing these notes is. So like there are two ragas, basically Bhoop and Deskar. I'm sorry, Bhoop and Deskar. There are two ragas that have the same ascending and descending order. And she was trying to make them understand what the difference between the two ragas is. Basically, is the way you say it. So my guru's guru, he says, what is not important, how is important. This is one of the things that he always says to people who are, learning from him. What is not important, how is important. And that's what she was trying to make them understand. The difference between the two ragas is what is the same. Sa re ga pa dha sa, sa dha pa ga re sa. This is the what. But how is very, very different. Sa re ga pa. I'll butcher it, but then the way she explains it, it's amazing. And this is why I like learning from her. And I don't know if this is a lot of things that's been going on in my life, in the sense, in the last week, a lot of things have been going on. And like now I have to think about work, now I have to think about music production, and now I have to think about my practice. And it's all a whirlwind in my head, and I have to bring them all together and try to make sense of all of it and try to organize it all together in a way that everything will work out. Speaking of workout, I also have to squeeze that in, because I have decided that in the next 6 months I have to get jacked up, and I have to get I have to get ripped, because I cannot do with this body, man. I can't, this fucking embarrassing. Every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, why would anybody look at this? I wouldn't look at this. And that's the purpose of the body. If you are talking about it on a very superficial fashion, in a very superficial fashion, then that is the very purpose of it. And I wouldn't look at it, let alone anybody else. And I don't want that to be the case. And I want to get better, and I want to bulk up. So there are 4 things on my priority, and I need to sort all of that out. And I'm just venting out at this point right now, but I think that's what the podcast is for. I've made that pretty clear by now, that this is just me venting out to person, which is my mother. So basically, this is just a way for me to convey things that I wouldn't say to my mother on my face through a camera, because she's the only person who's listening. I don't know. These are I'm not sure if you must have noticed, I'm not wearing any jeans right now. I'm just wearing a 3/4 under the kurta, because this is too much efforts for me, man. I can't wear it. It's too hot anyways. If I wore a jeans, I would be sweating anyway. I'm already sweating, and I'd be sweating even more. So this is the podcast, man. Thank you for listening. If you have stuck around for so long, man, that's a long time. I don't know how long, but then you have been a pretty good audience. Thank you for listening to me. You have been lovely. Thank you. This is Sarodi and Sarodi Co Limited. You are very welcome for the next episode. Bye bye.